Hey everyone, welcome back to My Michigan Farm Life. My name is Kelvin. We got another beautiful August evening out today. And we got something new. No, not this. You've seen this thing before. You've seen this probably way too much. But we've got something new and it involves this. And you're going to see it in just a minute. But first, before we can show you the something new, we got to take this drawbar off. So that's a little hint for what the new thing is. It's something that's going to go on the tractor, but we got to take the drawbar off. So we're going to do that quick. So it's fairly simple process. Once you get practiced at it a few times, you can do it pretty quick. But these are your lift arms here for if you have an attachment on, which we might have a mystery attachment. So all we have to do, pull out this pin, same pins over here, and that'll release this part of the drawbar. And then right up there, there's another pin that we have to pull out, and then this whole assembly, we can get that right out of here. And then we're going to hook our lift arms up. Right now they're pinned up here. We're going to take them out, and they're actually going to pin in back here. So these lift arms will sit out here, and that'll let them raise up and down. So we're going to get those off quick and then see if we can find out what's next. Alright, so the first step, we're going to get all these pins pulled out of here quick. At some point, one of these pins came up missing, so we've replaced it with this bolt temporarily, just until we can get a new pin. Alright, so our pins are out, so the drawbar is now just hanging from the snap coupler up there. So now we got to crawl underneath and pull that pin out. Alright, welcome to the underside. So this is our snap coupler hookup. Now on the newer models and on like your WD-45s, they actually had a snap coupler hookup, which was like a little jaw that you just back up to the implement and it would snap right in and you didn't have to do this. But just my luck that we didn't get a tractor with that. Ours has the old style. So every time you want to hook up, you got to crawl under here and pull out the pin, and it all comes tumbling down. But now we're unhooked, except for these arms up here. I forgot there's two more arms quick that we got to take off, and then the whole thing will pull right out of here. Alright, so the last things you got to remember to disconnect are these kind of like stabilizer arms. When the drawbar's up here, they kind of run back just to keep it from wanting to shimmy back and forth so much. And they're just these big pins. Pull them out, take that arm off, and put the pin right back in, because we're not going to use those until we put the drawbar back on. Same thing on this side, pull it off, put the pin back in, and now our drawbar is completely disassembled, so we can drag it right back out of the way. Put it over here for now. We are going to need this little coupler hookup. So any snap coupler attachment that you hook up to is going to have like a ring that the coupler hooks up to. So we'll pull this pin out, you'd slide that ring in there and drop it, and then this piece is hooked up to your implement, and then you slide it back up in there, put that pin back in, and then your drawbar connection is hooked up. And then it's just a matter of hooking up your arms. So we're going to grab that pin down there, take this in the tractor, and we're going to go out and find something new. Alright, so we got the tractor all backed up here to our mystery implement. Any guesses on what it could be? Oh, there it is. Got ourselves a backblade. It's a Alice Chalmers snap coupler. It's actually meant for like the WD series, but she'll work on this old girl. It's a 6-foot blade, and it came with these wings to add on, and with the wings on, it's 9 feet. So that's a pretty good pull. With the wings off, the 6-foot blade is about just as wide as the tractor is. So these blades give you a little extra on either side to cover your tracks up. We got this a few weeks ago. Like every project, it didn't come ready to go. It took a little work. So this tractor, as I said before, isn't equipped with the regular snap coupler hookup. So normally there would be your snap down there that everything would hook into, or that your drawbar would hook into. It'd snap in there, and then these arms would be a different kind of a clip that pins would lock into, and you can lock them and unlock them. We don't have that. So the original hookup on this, it had pins that came out on both sides, was meant for a snap coupler setup, which we didn't have. And also we found out that the hookup on the WD series, the arms are slightly wider than what's on the CA. So when we went to line them up, our arms were in here where these tabs are, and the hookups were out there. So we had to fab up this bracket that we just bolted on there, well, welded on. So we just cut a couple holes in these plates, slid them over those pins, and welded them on to this angle iron, and then just welded on a tab on each side that'll fit right up into the lift arm. And then you just throw your pins through the holes, and it's good to go. It actually works pretty good. We tried it out on the driveway just a little bit last week, just kind of messing around with it, but the driveway across the road hasn't been touched yet. It's got some bumps in it from when we spread our last load of crushed concrete, so we're going to get this thing hooked up and take her over and see what she'll do. So what we have to do is basically hook everything up just like we took the drawbar off. So I'm going to have to probably move the tractor over a little bit so that slot lines up with that. We'll get our coupler up there put on so we can drop that pin in there, and then we'll hook the lift arms up to these tabs. We should be good to go. Alright, after much struggle later, we're all hooked up. So normally, down here on your tongue, there's supposed to be a little kickstand that you can fold up or down that sits on the ground that holds it right at your coupler height. So when you're ready to hook it or unhook it, you can just set that down and drive straight out. And that way your hitch is adjusted where it's supposed to be. And of course, this didn't come with that. So we've been setting it on a wood block, which is a couple inches too short. So it's a bit of a struggle to get it on and off of there by yourself, but made do. Got it hooked up. Lift arms are all hooked up. I'd forgotten that when we took the drawbar off, we hadn't put the cylinders on yet. So the cylinders pinned up to this bracket here, which holds your lift arms up, gives them their angle of lift. So we're all hooked up, ready to go. Get this fired up, we'll run her across the street, see what it does. Alright, so we made it across the road. We're just going to get some of our settings kind of dialed in on this thing. So this blade has a few different functions. It has the ability for the blade to tilt like that. With these adjustments here, they just push the blade in and out, and then you can pull this out and you can pivot the whole blade this way to give you your angle of cut, and then you can crank this one way or the other, and that gives you your pitch that way. So it's got quite a few functions. So when you're just kind of grading and not really cutting in super deep, you want to have that blade kicked all the way forward like it is, so it's just kind of scraping material instead of really gouging in and digging up a bunch of stuff. So we've got that set. Now what we want to do is we want to give it some angle this way so that it's grabbing what's on the outside. and bringing it in towards the middle. And then we also want to adjust it so that it is digging in more on this side and not so much on this side, to kind of give it a nice crown going down so the water runs off it. So I haven't really played around with any of this too much, so we're just going to kind of give it some rough guesstimate of where we want it to be and see what she does. So I think we're going to run with this and see what it does. So I did tilt it. This is our center hole here, so I tilted it over to the first hole to give us a little angle. And then we did adjust our side to side, so you can see it's pitched down, so it's going to bite more on this outside and kind of drag everything in and build it up. So hopefully we can kind of get a nice roll on this drive just to keep it dry. So we'll drop it down, we'll make a pass down and back, and we'll see how it looks. So I got it basically smoothed out. There's still a few rough spots. I think the ultimate determination I've come to is that that blade with those wings on it was meant to be pulled by a lot bigger tractor than this one, also with weighted tires. So I think the wings are going to come off. I don't know that we'll need them really at all with this tractor, maybe with plowing snow, but that even might be too much. So I think we're going to take those off, and we'll come back over here another time and just try it out with the 6-foot blade. That way we're not pulling such a huge load with that little blade that's putting a lot of a lot of stress on the tires and they're just wanting to spin, and I don't want to dig down and start tearing sand up into the crushed concrete. So I think that's the best thing to do. It worked, but you could tell when you got into a spot where it was trying to move a lot of material, that was just more than what the tractor could pull. So we'll take those extensions off, come back some other time and try it out. But for now, we're gonna get this thing cleaned up because we're taking it to a tractor show tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one. But until then, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. We'll catch you on the next one.